When I first entered the Museum of Contemporary Art in downtown Los Angeles, I couldn't understand the reason for the exhibit of graffiti art. The scribbling on the walls, the chaotic colors, the ugly, non-representational shapes that deface buildings and signs and streets that jar, no, offend my aesthetics. Why consider this art? It was the antithesis of aesthetics. It didn't have the beauty and the balance of a Michelangelo or a Botticelli. But then I saw this installation of a store I have seen from China to Chile. Its large, dirty windows displayed dusty, stacked cans. When you looked through a diamond-shaped gate into its windows, a neon light shed an ugly yellow cast on an ancient, dirty counter, and shelves that were stacked with grimy bottles and cans. Next to the counter was a hideously painted pink and blue Formica booth that seated 4 people. Outside was a broken telephone booth. The red telephone receiver had graffiti scrawled on it. It looked like millions of telephone booths whose coin boxes were broken by someone trying to steal its money. Then it struck me. Why this art? It was a representation of what most of the world is experiencing from the chaos of capitalism. That is why I had seen this store from China to Chile. That store was the representation of the bankruptcy of capitalism and what the markets really look like. The graffiti artists of this exhibit were only recording the results of the free market that destroys, disrupts, and distorts life. Graffiti art is the art of the young, the poor, and the disenfranchised, who more keenly experience the disorder of capitalism. Their gut reaction expressed their alienation and that of the majority of humanity who suffer under the free market. It portrays the offenses to most of humanity that live on the dirty streets from China to Chile. Graffiti art is destructive because it speaks of the destruction of the poor that capitalism has created. The graffiti artist unconsciously records the reality of a polluted world when they pollute our sidewalks, buildings, and buses with their art. Like the young and the alienated, dispossessed, who loot stores, taking consumer goods, commercials sell them, they deface property. Graffiti art is ugly because behind the facade of airbrushed and Photoshop images of TV, movies, and commercials that sells us consumer goods is the ugliness of poverty for the majority of the world. Because the products capitalism sells with commercial art are products produced with stolen money from the wages of workers. Like the store who sold cans and bottles that read other people's problems, smug, and have some feelings with a gun logo. Why not steal or do graffiti? It is art, because like Michelangelo and Botticelli, they paint the themes of their culture. For them, it was religion. For the graffiti artists, it is chaos and alienation.